Good afternoon. Welcome to Jim Lumley's World of Weather. You clicked on to the long-range weather forecast discussion for January 6th to the 20th. For January 6th to the 10th, heights will be above normal across the high latitudes, basically across here, and also here off the west coast. And we have a below normal heights across the mid-latitudes here. You can see it right here. Now, we'll have an active pattern shaping up for much of the region, and we'll go here to the surface. We have a series of storm systems that track west to east, and low pressure is forecast to move the southern plains Friday into the east by the weekend. I'll get to that later on. And then we have the next system that'll be moving into the west over the weekend, and that is forecast to drop into the west and then bring another round, valley rains and snows. And that'll progress into Four Corners, and a low or organize in the south central plains. You see right here. And then look what happens, bringing another mixed precipitation or rain to the areas. That would be portions of the middle Atlantic and northeast with snow further inland. Okay, we're going to look now at the period for January 11th to the 15th. And you can still see we have above normal heights here. It's more amplified, deeper upper low here across Hudson Bay area, northern Canada, with below normal heights here, above normal heights here. So for this forecast period, it remains the same as yesterday, calling for below normal temperatures for much of this region here, with the anomalies of 4 to 6 degrees below normal. And for precipitation, below normal precipitation forecast here, probability of occurrence is near 35%. And we have above normal precipitation here, probability of occurrence is nearly 40%. Now we're going to look at the period for January 16th to the 20th. And you can see the pattern is very amplified here. According to the GFS, we have two strong large areas of positive height anomalies over Greenland and here over Alaska and the Aleutians. Looks like these two want to meet at some point. This could bring direct cold air from the Arctic into the nation. And we have below normal heights across the nation, but some of the models you can see here, like the GFS, has some tendency for above normal heights along the East Coast, as does the Canadian. So for this forecast period, calling for a little change in the temperature anomalies, and for precipitation, calling for below normal precipitation here. And for this region, probability of occurrence is nearly 35%, and we have above normal precipitation here. And for this area, and the probability of occurrence is 35 to 40%. Okay, now we're going to get to the impending storm that'll affect the east. There's a lot going on, and we have to see how this goes, especially near the coast, and be very dependent on the track of the system. But this system will track off the mid-Atlantic coast Saturday, and to Sunday continues to show ample snow potential for the north of the low, primarily portions of the Central Appalachians and the interior mid-Atlantic and northeast. There may be some freezing rain and sleet across portions of the Central Appalachians Saturday. Closer to the coast, it'll be dependent on the exact track of the low and the sufficient cold air, and I'll show you how that's going to pan out. So here we go to Friday. It's in the southern plains. Then it goes Saturday. Saturday evening or afternoon. And then we go into Sunday, and then low. You can see it's not very strong. Now, there are some implications of the GFS. It could be overdone, and there's some faults with it, and I don't want to bring up a lot of hype, but this could be wrong. But it goes near or close to the benchmark. Now we look at the GFS, the European, Southern Plains Friday, Saturday, and then it goes up to the East Coast. And notice where the 540 line is right here. It's across extreme northern New Jersey into parts of eastern Pennsylvania, so it's closer to the coast here. And then we looked at its ensembles. It's further out and it's near the 40-degree mark. Now this intensifies at 998, so you got to see how that goes. This doesn't show the freezing line, but it's near the further closer to the 40-degree line, or outside. It brings in the colder air. Now I'm going to show you how the colder air could come into play. No, this isn't out. Okay. We have a system here. So you can see this piece of energy here. We moving in across eastern Canada. And that'll bring the cold air. Now here's the energy coming in with the GFS. Now with this trough energy coming here, that'll create a high, keeping in the cold air damming across parts of the Appalachians to the East Coast. This could bring the heavier snow amounts closer to the coast. And we'll look. That's the GFS, and now the European also has a strong energy. Now it depends how this energy stays together. According to this now, we'll back it up a little bit. It's coming into the West Coast. And then you can see here across the South. And then it moves in. And it's staying pretty strong together. And that'll be dependent on the actual low. And then we look at the European. It also keeps it fairly strong here as it moves to the East Coast. Now, one of the models, as far as Canadian, I don't have it here, shows weaker energy and hardly nothing. That's the only model that is showing nothing for the East Coast. So it's still dependent on how this energy moves into the West and stays together and holds itself together. All right? So now we're going to look at snowfall amounts for this system. Now here's Saturday. Excuse me, Saturday evening, Saturday night. Looks like maybe excuse me. This is in 12-hour intervals. Show close maybe at least 6 inches across parts of New Jersey. Higher amounts to the north. Okay, that's if the cold air stays in and the track of the low is near the 40-degree, 70-degree benchmark. Now we'll look at the European. Excuse me. It has kind of similar amounts here in 12-hour intervals. Maybe 5 inches. It could be a substantial amount of snow. It could be more. Now, like I said, up around this area, this is where you'll see the heaviest snow across parts of New York into New England. But far in northern Maine, this won't be a snowstorm for them. It'd be more along the coast. It could still change. There's a lot of probabilities, and you got to watch that low and the energy, how the energy stays together as it moves across. Right now, most of the models have it staying together. There's still a lot of pieces come together that create that high, because right now we don't have the high feeding in the cold air. But there'll be a front moving through Thursday night in parts of the east, bringing in a surge of cold air, and then hopefully that'll set up the ridge, keeping in the cold air locked in place with cold air damming, and we have that cold northeast flow around the high, keeping it snow. We'll wait and see how that goes. More on that tomorrow. So that's the long range weather forecast discussion for January 6th to the 20th. Thanks for coming to Jim Munley's World of Weather, and have a good day.